Let's see. Okay, hello. In the last video we saw what was the basics, some variables. So now we're ready to start with the list. In today's video we are going to learn what is a list, what things can we do with the list, because we can change them, we can add value, we can delete value on the list, and there is few things that we can do with the list. And then we will check what is a tuple and what will be the main difference between list and tuples. So let's move forward, and we're gonna start here saying list.py. We are going to start with the list. Okay, what is a list? A list is like a data structure that allows us to store several values inside a single variable. So it's like an order box with positions. So the main idea is like a list keeps orders, allows repeated elements, and can be modified. And in Python it is written with the square brackets, these ones. So every time we want to do a list, we are gonna use the square brackets. Okay, let's move with this. Let's start with the first list. Let's say temperatures. Okay, and temperatures is gonna have the value of a list, and the list could be 35, 36, could be 36.4 or 0.5, and could be 36.5. okay, because we saw that it could be repeated elements. Why did I put it that way? Okay, but it changes, you can be a bit confused right now. Let's put a different number there. Okay, so this is a list, and now we're gonna just print it and see what it prints. Print temperatures. I printed, and we see that we made the first mistake in here. Which one was it? We put the double comma in here. Let's fix it. Okay, now we have our first list: 35, 36, 36.5, and 40. Okay, what can we do with this now? Let's move. List. Okay, while lists are important, in real project you almost never work with just one piece of data. You work with a series of data like sensors reading, file names, temperatures, battery level, positions, pending tasks, or recording errors. Okay. So what is the main thing? Did I delete it? No, it's okay. So what is the main thing of this? Let's put in here, like, for example, let's check. You remember the variables, right? If we want to make a variable, we can just do like temperature. It's gonna store the value of 35, and now we print temperature. Just like that, we print both of them, and we see the list is gonna be between the square brackets and the variable, just the value. Okay, if we would like to do different values using this variable, then we will have to do, for example, here temperature 1. Let's choose a different name, like a easier name, like sensors, for example. Easy to write. Sensors. Let's modify everything. Actually, let's put now string. We saw numbers, but let's watch with the string. Maybe it's more clear. A list can store every type of every data type. You can put the strings, you can put float, you can put integer. All of them are accepted in string in a list. So let's check that we have sensors. What kind of sensors do we have there? So we can have camera, for example. We can have a microphone. We can have a radar. Let's put GPS. Okay, same mistake here again. Okay, and now we will say here print sensors. And this is the same as we did before, right? We just print this and we have a list with different values. Okay. Now let's say that we don't use a list, that we keep using variables. So it will be like sensor 1 is gonna store camera. We move with sensor 2 and we want the sensor 2 to store microphone. Oops. Remember, if we don't put it in the string, it's like a variable, right? So sensor 2, the variable sensor 2 will be passed called variable microphone in that case. We don't want that. We want to put actually a value. So microphone. If I can type it right. Okay, no? Yeah, I think so. Sensor 3, and we're gonna start in sensor 3 the next one, radar. Yeah, let's do them all so we can have a better picture of it. Sensor number 4 is gonna be GPS. Okay, and now let's say that I want to print them all because I want all of them to be printed for some reason. So we can say print sensor 1. Did another type here, print sensor 1. Okay, we will say print sensor 2. Print sensor 3. And print sensor 4, right? Sensor 4. Okay, that will be more or less what we was just watching on the past video, but we can also do this a bit different. There is different type of printing this, right? We can do print. I don't like when the content is in the middle because I cannot actually see the code above. Okay, let's put sensor 1. Sensor 2, because we were yesterday seeing this like this class, right? You remember the yesterday in the last class we were concatenating strings, remember? Let's do it that way. Sensor 3 plus sensor 4. Okay, so let's print. Let's see if everything will be printed. So everything is printed. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different prints. We have the first one, the list, just like that, the list, this one. Then we have here camera, microphone, radar, and GPS. Look, you see why microphone is like this, because after the string we put the space in there. If we print back again now, now it's different. It's like all of them in the same position. So camera, microphone, radar, GPS. But look what happened in here when we concatenate the strings. You see, sensor 1 plus sensor 2 plus sensor 3 plus sensor 4. All of them are strings, so we can concatenate the string. That's not an issue. The thing that we cannot do without modify, if you remember, is to trying to concatenate or try to make an addition with the string and numbers. If you don't modify the numbers to convert or modify those numbers to string back again, then you cannot do it. That was the mistake that we were having, the error that Python was showing yesterday, right? So if we concatenate all the strings, you see, it's even difficult to read it, right? So let's try to fix that now. We can take this one out because we're trying to find a different kind of print this. Okay, so maybe we can do like, if we want to keep this, will it work like this? Like maybe we can put strings in between with the space. Let's keep doing this. Can we do that? No, it doesn't allow us to do that. So we can do maybe print and then sensor 1, comma, sensor 2, comma, sensor 3, comma, and sensor 4. This one, we wanna put it like this because this one, hey, what did, oh my god, what I did, no? What have I done? Oh my god. I actually don't know how to go back in there. Whoa. Okay, that was not what I wanted to do. We still have this in here. How can I just let that? What about if I do any normal print? I don't know, what did I press though? Let's check camera or print sensor 1. Let's print sensor 1. See what happened. It's printing camera. It's printing just right. Oh, we got it back. How did it do that though? I just wanted to keep the thing that we were just trying. We were just trying like sensor 1. And we try to make some space in here. I feel like I'm gonna do the same again. Okay, plus sensor 2. We also tried another string with the space. Okay, are you gonna just stop doing that? Sensor 3. We give space. And we also put a plus in here, right? And then sensor 4. That's what we tried before, more or less. And what I wanted to do is this one, so it's not gonna be reading by Python, right? You remember, if we do that, Python will not read that code, will not read that line. Okay, so we started trying to do this, then it was not working, and then we did this, which this one is working better. We have camera, microphone, radar, and GPS. We also can try with the format. If we print using the format, we will see this more on the for loops and on the conditionals, but it is good to know. Maybe we also are going to see the format printed in these down tuples. We will have a look. So let's say that I want to print sensor 1, comma, sensor 2, don't put in that, sensor 3, and sensor number 4. Okay, it should not work because it's not formatted, because in order to I get it now. We start the formatting with this. Okay, and then this always I do at the end after I have all the printed with the format. Basically, to do print with format, everything that you put inside, like the variables that you want to put, all the yeah, like the main variables, or we will talk about parameters and the stuff later, but for now I want to print all those 4 variables, right? So the variable has to be inside of this key in the case that I want to print them. It is called the curly brace, right? Or the curly brackets. Okay, so inside of the curly brackets I have to put the variables, and then everything inside of the string, and F. You see how it changed with interpreted? I put an F and it changed now. This is a bit confused, don't get to this now, this is something that we will learn later. Everything that I'm doing since the line number 10 below is something that we will see later. It's just I want to show you how like confusing can look everything if you keep doing this with variable instead of just using a simple list. So this is another way if we want to print all those sensors. We go back to print, and now we say we have the first print, the normal one, right? But then we try with the variable these two, and then we have camera, microphone, radar, and GPS, and then we have here camera, microphone, radar, and GPS. We made another mistake in here because we wanted just normal, no extra spaces, and now we have it with no extra spaces, with comma after the word. You see everything that we have to do, and just instead of doing all of that, I'm gonna just put it there because it's not gonna happen the same. Okay, instead of doing all of this, we can just put sensors and everything into the list, and that's it. We have now these 4 values inside of one variable, and then we just say print sensor. You see, it's like 2 lines of code. It was like 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we did 2 lines of code in 7 lines of code. So this is basically the main reason for the list. So you can store more values inside of one single variable, and then you can do things with them. You can change them, you can delete values, you can add more values, all those things that we're gonna see now. Okay, so we can just delete all this because you already got the difference, right, between the list and the variables and why. If you just want a single value, then okay, it's okay to use a variable, but if you want to use more, it makes no sense to use variables all the time when you can just use a list and you store all the values. Okay, let's move now. What can we do with the list? For example, the positions, we can find the index. Let's say that in sensors, yeah, we're gonna keep this print in there so we can check, but now we're gonna do it again, like print sensors. And now from sensors, because I know sensor is a list, right? So I'm gonna open the square brackets, and now I'm gonna say, okay, from sensor I want only the camera, okay, because camera is the first value, but I don't know what is the first value of the list. And maybe I know, like in this case we know because these 4 different values, but it could happen that I have a list and I don't know what is the first value of the list. I want to know. So in list, the index starts from 0. So if I want to check camera, I put 0. So I print and I put the number of the list and then the index that I want to print. See, in here we have the normal list, and then we have the index that we want it to be printed. So it will be 0, 1, 2, and 3. And list always start with 0. The index always start with 0. So let's say that we want the microphone. We just put 1 and we call microphone in here. And we could do the same with the radar. and the same with the GPS. So remember 0, 1, 2 and 3. And now let's add more value. Let's add one more. Let's put what else can we have? Camera, microphone, radar, GPS. We can put a speaker, for example, right? Speaker. Okay. And now we move to the next thing with the index. What else can we do with the index? So we took the first element, which is 0, 1, 2, 3. Let's say that we have a list, and it could happen that in the list we have 500, 600 different values, and we just want the last value of the list, but we don't know which one is it. We don't know the name of the value or how the value is called or the number. We just want the last one. And if we don't know, if we have 450 or 600, it can take a long time until you figure out which one is the last one, right? So the best way to do it is -1. If we print -1, we get the speakers. It gives us the last one. So imagine this as a horizontal axis, right? 0 to 15 and 0 to -15. You cannot repeat the numbers, right, on the horizontal axis. So in here it's like the same. You want to start from the end, you go minus. So let's say -2. We go GPS. So we have 0, 1, 2, and we have 0, -1, -2, and the same. If we want rather, we can do -3. I go in here, if I can press the -3. We print, and we got the radar. And what else can we do with that? We can do slicing. Slicing means cutting out part of the list, and it is very useful when you don't want everything but only a range. So let's say okay, for example 0, column 3. What do you think will happen in here? We have the values 0, 1, 2 and 3. In this case 0 always be what is in the left of the column, on the left side of the column, always will be included. But what is on the right side of the column, the exactly index is not included. So let's make this 0, 1, 2 and 3, right? In this case we'll print 0, 1 and 2. We'll cover everything from the index which is on the left side of the column, and everything but not included the exact index on the right side of the column. So if we print this, we get camera. You see, this is the first one, this one, this is the normal one. I keep this one in here so we can check the whole list. And then from 0 to 3 in this range we go 0, 1 and 2. Okay, so we can do also let's put here 2 and then column and nothing on the right. So in this case we have 0, 1, 2, but then we have nothing on the left. So nothing on the right side. So it will take everything. It will take the second index, which is radar in this case, 0, 1 and 2, and the rest of the list until the end. And this time including the end because there is no number. It's like the whole list. This is what the emptiness in here means. It means just give me the whole list starting from this index. So basically it's like very straightforward, right? So print sensor, index 2, and then everything on the right. So we print this, and we have radar, GPS, and speaker, which is radar, GPS, and speaker. We can do the same on the other side. Let's say here, and then we put the 4. In this case, 0, 1, 2, 3. The 4 is not included because it's on the right side of the column, so it will give us all of those. We print and we have camera, microphone, radar, and GPS. So this is basically slicing, and of course we can do like this also, -3. And it could be a bit confused, but it's pretty straightforward, this one too. Which one is -3? If camera is 0, -1, -2, and -3. We covered the left side, which is -3. But now we say from the right side now, give me all until the of the list, right? So -1, -2, -3, and then everything from this one that is on the right side of it. So if we print, we have radar, GPS, and speaker, which this is very useful if, as I say, we have a list with 500 or 600 different values and we only want the last 3 of the list. And we can do the same on the other side. Let's say here -2, and then nothing on the left side of the column, so -1, -2, and then it's pretty straightforward, right? It say from -2, give me everything that is on the list, and in this case it is included. In this case it is included because there is not another number here, there is not a range to cover. So in this case it's from the -2 index exactly. Just give me the rest of the list that is on the left of this index. So we have camera, microphone, and radar. So -1, wait, I'm a bit confused now. It's not GPS in here. From -2, -1, -2 is GPS. Okay. Let's check one more. -3. I was pretty sure that in this case it was precisely that it will take the index that we say on the right side, but no, it does exactly the same, but to the other side. So -1, -2, -3. It takes everything that is on the left, but also not including the one. So in this case, there is not like, how would I say? No exception, right? So there is no exception, doesn't matter if you put the positive number here. Zero, 1, 2, and GPS is not included. Okay, so everything that is on the right side of the column is everything included, but not the exactly index that we put. I didn't know that, or at least I didn't remember that. When I first got the exam, I'm pretty sure that I got like this exercise, and pretty sure that then I did it wrong. -2 on the right side, -1, -2, and then you just take all of them from the left side, but not including the one in there. Every day we learn something new. Let's keep moving. I think the slicing is covered, right? Like, it's understandable. Okay, modifying list. Lists are mutable. It means that it can be changed even after it is created. And you can correct the value, add data, delete data, sort the list. We will see them. Okay, let's change a variable. List, sorry. So we can do, for example, sensors. And in sensors we have the, are you going to, okay, let's use it with the sensors. Oh, I'm using the, okay, I changed the keyboard, I was using the wrong one. Okay, sensors, and now we want, which index do we want? Let's change microphone, which is such a long word, so we put microphone. And now we say the sensors index, oh wait, that's not microphone. Microphone is actually this one. So let's say that we want to change microphone, so we say in the list, because sensors is a list, in the list the index 1 now is not gonna be microphone, now it's gonna be I don't know, what can it be? It can be like, we took it out because microphone is a long word, but now we're gonna put Bluetooth. It is like this, I'm not even sure if it's right like this, Bluetooth. And now we say again print sensors. And we have it in here. Camera, microphone, radar, GPS speaker, camera, Bluetooth, radar, GPS speaker. So we took out microphone for Bluetooth. So you can change the index. Every value of the list you can change it if you want to modify it. Okay. We're gonna check now the append, which is that one. Append. We're gonna check insert, and we're gonna check extend. What can we do with this methods? It is called methods. What can we do with these three different methods? Okay, for example, with append we can add the value. Let's say that we have another value, like for example Bluetooth in the other case, but we need microphone too, so we don't want to delete microphone and put Bluetooth instead because we need both of them, right? So let's say that we want to add another value, then we can use append. If it's only one value, we can use append. What will happen with the value? That with append, the value that we want to add will always go to the last position. So it will be the last index of the list. Let's say that you have a list with 500 values or 500 index, different index. It will go to the last one. With insert, what we can do is from a specific position we can add a value. Okay, so we saw before that we changed microphone and we put Bluetooth, but let's say that we want also both, but we need the Bluetooth on the first position. So in here 0 and 1, let's say that we want Bluetooth here, so we can put with the insert that we want Bluetooth in here, and then microphone will go to the next position, and so on, go on. Okay, and with extend is basically concatenation of list. We create a different list. Let's say that we need to add 10 more values or 200 different values to a list. So we create a list with extend, we put those 200 values, and we add those 200 values to sensors, concatenating the strings. And we're gonna see them all now. Okay. Let's check. Shall we see with numbers? Or I think with the strings will be like more clear. Okay, so let's say sensors dot append, and remember what I say in the first video, that every instruction word is always with parentheses. So the value that we want to add, now we put it inside the parentheses. So let's say that we want to add, we have camera, microphone, I don't know, we want to add like a helmet. Let's put helmet into strings. If I can put the strings. And now we say in here print sensors. So we can see the difference with the first print with the first list and the second list using the different prints. So we have it in there. We have camera, microphone, radar, GPS, speaker. Let's take a speaker out. I think we have too many right now. Let's print again. A bit better. So camera, microphone, radar, GPS. We are the same: camera, microphone, radar, GPS, and the helmet. So everything that you will put in here will be passed on the last one. Okay, so that's basically the pen. Let's go to the next one. We said that we also have insert, right? So with insert, and we say that with insert it is in a specific index. So let's say the helmet, the same one, right? Let's say that we want it here in the first position. This is position 0 and this is position first, right? So we put 1 because we want it in the first position, and then we put the value helmet, and we print, and we see here camera, helmet, microphone, radar, and GPS. But now let's say no, whatever the code is not working with this value in this position. It has to be on the position of the value. So we can count 0, 1, and 2. Okay? So position 2. And we print. And now we see the helmet is in the position 2. 0, 1, and 2. Okay. The other one was extend. Extend, as I said, is if you want more values, right? So we put extend. And now the difference with this is that we are creating a list. As we say, extend, what it does exactly is it concatenate list. So extend is an instruction word, must have parentheses, but we want to create this, a list, so we also have to put the square brackets for the list. And now we're saying, okay, we want helmet, and we want to put legs, it's part of the suit, and then I don't know why they down. We need the helmet, legs, whatever we need. We need the arms too. And arms. With the string. Arms. And we print. So you see, camera, microphone, radar, GPS, helmet, legs, and arms. And also you can say, okay, if this concatenate list, maybe you can create a list apart and then just add it to extend. We could do that, but the reason why I don't do that is because then double square brackets appear. For example, let's say that we want these three, right? But this is in a list called suit, because it's part of the suit. And we say the suit has the value of helmet. Why does happen? Helmet, I don't say. Helmet, legs, and arms. And we close it. Okay, we delete this because we have already a list called like that. So we have a suit, which is the name of the list, and we want to add this list into this list. So we can put sensors dot extend, and then we put suit in here. And it means in sensors concatenate the value of suit, because the value of suit is a list with 3 values, and we print it. It's on the second one. Wow, today I'm astonished, for real. Like the reason why okay, so I did a mistake, which is not a mistake, it's apparently the right thing. But I remember doing this, like I said before, right? We have to do this. Put this one here, and this one in here. And now if we print it, it's what I said before. You see, we got a list inside of the list. But actually, it works if we don't put the square brackets in here. And actually it's even better. Camera, microphone, radar, GPS. You see, there is not this double square brackets in here. But what about if we, let's try, I hate that. What I did right now with this is because there is more than one line of code that I don't want Python to interpret, right? To Python to read. Remember, when you have one, for example, I don't want Python to read the line number 3, then we can create a comment by using the hash, remember? But there is another way to create comments too, which is putting the string, the quotation marks 3 times. If you open a quotation marks 3 times and you close it 3 times, everything that will be inside is a comment too. Python will not read it, so you can document in here a big text. Let's say that you want to document your code and it's not enough in one line, and you don't want to put like a hash, and a hash to cover 4 lines, right? Because maybe it doesn't look good. So you can do it like this, and you can cover as many lines as you want. If those lines are inside of the quotation marks, of 3 quotation marks, Python will not read it. You can use it as documentation. In this case, I did it because I'm confused about what we just did. Because we say the sensors dot extend, and then we open the parentheses, and we did this to add values. Because let's say now that we don't have another list created, we just want to create the list straight in extend, because let's say that we just have 2 more values to add, and we don't have this list because those values is values that we just call for something. Let's say that we're programming a video game or whatever it is, we need 2 more values, and we need the values of helmet and the value of legs again. And if we do that, we got this print in here. Oh, Okay, yeah, the program runs this perfectly, but if we don't print it, we don't see it on the console. So don't do the print in here. Let's do the print in here. But it could be more confused, right? If we do it in here, print. No, it doesn't allow us to print it in there straight. Oh, okay, no. No? Why? Never was closed, I closed. Oh, that was for the extend. But if I do like this, it's also not working. It's a known. This one is working, but this one say like, okay, we cannot print in there. So we print sensors again, just normal. What is that? Could be because of that. I didn't really check if that thing was in there. Could it work now? No, it still is no type. Okay, maybe I just didn't delete it and I was like thinking I did. Okay, go back, print sensors here. Okay, now we see the first print and the second print: camera, microphone, radar, GPS, helmet and legs. Okay, but the thing is, with the list we took the square brackets out, but in here it doesn't appear as a double square bracket, so in here which is fine. And if we print this, no, it doesn't allow us. It must be into square brackets. So the only amazing. So the only thing that I could learn from this is like when we did this in here, we didn't need the square brackets on the extend, on the dot extend, because shoot is already a list. That it would be the only sense that I see in here is because shoot already has the value of list, so you don't need to put shoot with the squares bracket because shoot already has square brackets, or at least the values inside. But however this one no, because this one is just a single string. This is not list or nothing. Python don't interpret this as a list. It's just strings. It interprets as a list when we add the squares in here. I know that's just the only sense that I will see in here. But it's okay, it is what it is. We cannot change Python, right? At least we saw it and we saw what we can do, what we cannot do. And it was a good debug in here. I don't want to see it again, let's keep moving. Okay, we saw the append, the insert and the extend. Okay, now we can check remove, we can check pop, and we can check delta. What is the difference between those three? All those three delete things on the list. But the difference is append, remove. Remove deletes by value. So with remove, we can delete something that we know is on the list by value, right? So microphone is a value. so we can just delete microphone straight if we know it's in the list. With pop by position, in this case we don't know what it is in every position, we just want to delete the position. So for example, if we want to delete camera, it would be position 0. If we want to delete microphone, it would be position 1. And it deletes by position or range, so the same as the pop. Okay, let's say with those, let's put like it's the same like sensors dot remove. It's an instruction word, so it must be with parentheses. And now we want to remove radar. Let's remove radar. Okay. And now we print to see if we did it or not. Print sensors. See, camera, microphone, radar, and GPS. And now camera, microphone, and GPS. No radar anymore. We just delete radar. We could do the same with the pop, right? As we check. And here we can say, but with the pop is like it doesn't explain it. It could be with square brackets or without square brackets, because it's list, and before it was with the square brackets. So let's try without square brackets. We want to delete the same one rather. Which is 0, 1, and 2, right? Let's try. Yeah, it's like this. We don't put it into square brackets. Let's delete a different one. Let's delete camera now. And camera has been deleted in here. Okay, so no square brackets, just straight into parentheses. One another thing that could be the difference between the remove and pop is that with pop we can get the value that we delete, because let's say the problem with the list is that it's mutable, as we say, right? You can change, you can add, and you can delete, as we are deleting right now. But deleting can be a problem, because if you delete and then you think that you will need this value back, it could happen that you don't remember which value you just deleted. Or maybe you're working in a project with someone else and the other person is deleting stuff from you, and then you just don't remember the order, or you just don't remember the values that you got inside. Let's say for a control movement or a video game or whatever. So with this we have pop, and with pop we can do different things. So let's say that we want to delete camera, which is in the position 0, but we don't want to delete it permanently. Let's see this as your desk on your computer. If you have a file and you want to delete the file will go to your basket, right? It's not going to be deleted from the system just at once. It first go to the basket, and then you can go to the basket and remove it infinite, right? Remove like definitely. So here we can do the same. So let's create a variable that will store this operation. So let's say my basket or my bin is gonna be sensors.pop0. So here I'm saying in my bin I want to store the elimination of the position 0 of this list, and then we're gonna print here my bin. why are we going to print my bin? Because it's in here where we are restoring this operation, right? So before printing this one, let's put the comment in here. Before to print this one, let's print our sensors again so we can see that has been removed. Sensors, and we print, and we see camera, microphone, radar, and GPS. And now we can see just microphone, radar, and GPS. There is no camera, so camera has been deleted. And now we say, oops, but I don't remember the values that I did delete, and now maybe I need it back. So that's why I use this one. We put it in here, and then we say print my bin. So we have the first one, which is this one, the second one, and the third one. We have the whole list, then the list without the camera, and then we have camera, which is my bin. So my bin stores the elimination of the value that we just deleted. It's good actually if you are going to delete something from a list, use always pop, and remember to put a variable in pop, so you can always call pop and you will always see what you are deleting from a list, so you will never lose those values. Okay, what else? It was delete. Okay, and now just to delete it normally. Delete is not like we have been checking so far, which is sensor dot till. It doesn't work that way. This one is different. This one is just del, and then for example sensors. Oh, I have been writing this word wrong the whole time. Yep. Okay. Sensors, and now different one. Now this is a list. This is not like an instruction word, like normal instruction word. So from sensors, I want to delete camera again. We're gonna delete the camera. And camera is 0, right? We say we start the index, always start from 0. So camera is 0. And now we say print sensors again. We print this, and oh, you see, we change the variable, the name of the list, and now we didn't change in the first print, but this one and this one are right, but it doesn't matter. For Python doesn't matter. If there is a mistake on the line 3 and everything until the line 7, then it's just fine. It doesn't even try. If there is a mistake in here, the program breaks and nothing else will be done. This is why debugging is so important, because maybe you have a code of 1000 lines and your mistake is on the line 20, and imagine how frustrating it can be that you're going through the 600, 700, 850 trying to find why is this not working, and then it's not working because something in the line number 20 you have a mistake like this, or because you have a comma where you shouldn't have a comma, something like this. The rest of the code will not work just because that single mistake. That's why debugging is so important. Actually, what I will suggest is you have a big code. Let's say that more than 30 lines, I would say it's already a big code. So what I will do, every 10 lines, make sure that you put something just to test every 10 lines. So I see some codes that is 30, 40, 50 lines, and then you have like some comments to check on that. And I think that's too big. the smallest part that you will divide your code, the easiest will be to find a problem. So try always to put like a check every 10 lines maximum. So we print and we see camera, microphone, radar and GPS. Microphone, radar and GPS, we just delete the camera. That's basically that. But why would you do that? You know, if you're working with lists and you know the list is mutable and list can change, then use the pop and you can always get back the value. So let's move on. Okay, the last thing with the list that we can see is the different methods that we have in here. For example, let's print them all. Let's put the I delete the print, the normal print. This one I like to keep it here so we can see the normal list and then any modification if we do. Okay, sensors. Why is this happening? Print sensors, just like that. Okay, and now we say print. Let's check. Remember the instruction words like this one, len. So this one has parentheses too, right? So I have the print, and then inside of the print I put len. But len has parentheses, so I open another parenthesis, and then I put sensors. And then I close the parentheses for the len and the parentheses for the print, because print is covering everything. I will explain after I'm gonna put all the prints here. I will display all the prints and then I will explain what every print does. And here we can put zoom, we open parentheses and then sensors, and we close both of them. It's the way. Print. Now min. We open back. Oh, what do we do here? There was two. This one out. Here sensors. Okay. Print max. Sensors. Okay, len basically cover every single value, so it will count how many values are inside of a variable. In this case it's different. It's not the index, it's how many values actually you have inside of the list. So we have 1, 2, 3 and 4 different values. Some basically will do the addition of all of them. So maybe this one is better to see it with numbers. Let's put numbers. It will also do the same. For example, this one we say that it tells you how many values inside of a list. 1, 2, 3 and 4. It will give you 4. Here the addition of them. We saw in an exercise before that if we actually was the first exercise that we did, right, where I was just trying to explain to you the format and the print and everything. That was a bit complicated, that we will not see that yet. Anyway, you saw the concatenation of the text is like one word just right after another one with no extra spaces. It was even difficult to read. The minimum in here, it can also be done, and it will find the letters. So for example, C is higher than M on the alphabet, and the max will do the same but reverse. So it will do this kind of sum and this kind of addition and subtraction basically. So in order to see this better, let's put numbers. Let's put 50, 20, 70, 10 and 90, for example. Right, we have 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, let's print so we can see it. So the first print is basically just printing the list as it is. Then we have len, and we say the len is the total values that you have inside of the list, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then the sum basically is the addition of all of 10, in this case 240. Yeah. Then we have the minimum, so the slowest number on the list, and then max, this is the lowest, and then max is the highest number on the list. So this is how you can get some information from a list, because now we know it's 5 values in here, but as I said before, if there is 500 values, 600, 800 values, how do you know all of them? You need this kind of function of methods to know what do you have in the list. We could cover that, but this is like a bit more advanced, I will say, so let's skip this. And we can see the tuples now. I think we already understood what is a list and what kind of things can we do with the list, so let's move with the tuples. Okay, we can do here like now we're gonna see tuples dot by. That's it. We clean the console. What is a tuple? A tuple is similar to a list, but it is used for data that normally should not change. Tuples are written with parentheses. They are immutable. You cannot directly modify an element after creating it. So the key idea is the list changing data. You can change the data. It stores value, same as the tuple, both of them stores value, more than one value. That's why you use list and tuple when you have more than one value. The difference is with the list, you can change the data, and tuple is fixed data or records that you want to protect from accidental changes. So let's create let's create a tuple. We say initial position, and we say the tuples are with parentheses, right? We have like variable, which is nothing. This is a variable. This is a variable. This is a list, and this is a tuple, and we're gonna put 0, 0 again, and 1.75. Tuples, same as the list, you can also put repeated items, repeated values. You can put the same twice. And now we print initial position. We just print the normal here, and we just see the result with parentheses, so we know is a tuple. Do you remember that we also got this one, right? Type, so we can check which type is that. Just if you want to make sure when you're just working on it, class tuple. Okay. What can we do with this? Same as we did with the list, for example, print initial position, and then we want an index, right? With the index, same as we did with the list, square brackets. because we just want an index inside of the tuple. Which index do we want? Let's check position 2, right? Which one do you think is position 2? Which one do you think it will print? Remember, this is the same as list, so 0, 1, and 2. Okay, and we got here, this is position 2, position 0, position 1, and position 2. So you will say, okay, if this is exactly the same of the list, why do we use tuples instead of the list? Because let's say, for example, that these are coordinates that we want to keep, we don't want to delete. This is something that it must remain at all costs, and there is a possibility that you're doing some coding and then you are deleting stuff on list, because lists are mutable and variables are mutables. Remember that if we put let's take this out, remember that we can do like suit, and in suit we put helmet, right? And then let's make a big comment. Let's make like this and this and this, and there is a lot of coding in here. Oops. And we make this to make sure that Python does not read it. So imagine this is coding, and then here we have another shoot, now shoot in here is legs, and then more coding, and then here someone else doesn't read what the code is on top, and someone else put the suit now is arm. You wanted suit to be helmet, someone wanted suit to be legs, and someone else who was not reading the code would just come here new and say, hey, suit is gonna be arms, and we print this, and none of them are working because we didn't put it into strings. Remember that we said that every text must be into string. Because we didn't put the string, Python is looking for variables in here, and we don't have any variables called helmet, so it's not working. In order to work, we have to do that. Every string, every text goes with the string with quotation marks. So now we can do it. Yeah, of course it's working, but it's not printed, so we don't see it, and we print suit. We in this case print suit because we are the ones who created this one. This one was done for another person, and this one later was done for a different person, and now we got the code back, but the code there is like 500 lines, so we already don't see this, and we're gonna print suit because we are so sure that we're gonna receive the value of helmet. And then we do this, and we see arms in here, and we're like, it was helmet, why is it arms now? So this is exactly why you use tuples, sorry, tuples is in Spanish, tuples. That's why you use tuples. So this doesn't happen to you. Okay. Another thing with the tuples is, let's say that you have just a single value that you want to store and make sure that no one delete it. Let's say that you have again shoot, and you say or different one, let's put an integer now, let's say temperature, and the temperature is 40, and we say here, okay, let's put this so you can see. If we say print type temperature, it's gonna print class integer, right? It's a number. You see, the class of this is integer. But it can happen that you come and say, I'm gonna create a tuple and I really need the temperature to be 40, and you do this and you just move on with the code saying, okay, I just created a tuple called temperature, so I'm pretty sure with the value of 40, so I'm pretty sure that no one will move that, because this 40 I need it for any reason. But if we do this here, we also delete this just to make sure that there is no confusion between one and another. Okay, so now this one will only print this one. And we are so sure that thinking this is a tuple, but it's still an integer. You see? So how do you create a tuple with just a single value? Because it could happen the case that you just want a single value. We put this in here, and we put this back in here so we see it's different. In order to create a tuple, you put the value that you want to store, if it's a single value, add in a comma. So if we print now this one, which is going to be printed in here, and this one, which is going to be printed in here, we can see the difference of both of them. You see, the first one, which is this one, is an integer, and the second one is already a tuple because we added the comma in there. This is something good to know. Another thing to check with the tuples, let's put positions. And positions, we have the position 10, position 5, and position 1.75. This is called unpacking. Unpacking means taking the values from a tuple, okay, taking the values from a tuple and storing them in individual variables. Let's say that for any reason you need this in individual variables. How do you do that? You can do like position 1 and you add it, and then but this is not really unpacking, this is just creating new variables. It's not actually unpacking the tuple, and we want to unpacking the tuple, exactly the value that is in the tuple move into variables. We can put, for example, x, y, and z. It could be ABC, 1, 2, 3, car, truck, tractor, anything. Okay, it could be literally anything. And we say that those three is equal to position. Why equal to position? Because position stores the values, right? And now we just want a single one. Let's say that, hey, we want x, and then separate in a different part of the program we want y, and later on we also want z. And if we print in here, you see we have 10, 5, and 75. But it could be the case that I only want x, which is the first one. It goes straight. So first variable to the first index, second variable, second index, second value, right? Because if we would talk about index, then it would be 0, 1, 2. We are talking about values. The first variable to the first value, second variable to the second value, third variable to the third value. So if we print x, it's gonna be this first one, first value. But now let's print z. We want the last one, We got the last one with set. Okay. What else could we be? Could we see with this? Okay, we can see that sometimes you want to protect the list by converting it into a tuple, or modify a tuple by converting it into list. This is something that really makes no sense, because if you make a tuple for some reasons, it's just because you want to make sure the data that you're gonna put inside, it will not change at all. But there is actually a way to change it, which is we have a tuple and we convert the tuple into list. Then we modify the list, and after it is done, we convert the list back into tuple. But it could happen that if you're doing something for a reason, right? If you're doing something is for a reason, let's say that you create a tuple because you really want this data not to be modified, and then someone else can change the tuple into list, modify it and put it back into tuple, and then you come back to your code, and what you had in the first place as a tuple is not anymore, now it's changed. So there is actually a way to change it. We can check for example sensors, and we put a list. Let's make a list. Let's put camera, radar, and GPS. Remember that you have to put comma between them. And now we have like yeah, for example, we want this into tuple, so we create another one, fix it. We create a tuple, right, which fix it sensors. Why fix it? Because now we want to make sure that now it will remain as a tuple, so it cannot be changed accidentally. That's the values that we want to be immutable, right? So fixed sensors is going to be tuple and now we put parentheses and we call sensors. Sensors is literally the list, right? Here, the list. So we are just, this is very simple, it's very straightforward. It's like we want to create a tuple, so we put fixed sensors. It's going to be a tuple with the value of sensors. And now we can print fixed sensors, and we print it and we have it in here. You see, if it will be a list, it will be into square brackets, but it's in parentheses, so it's showing you that this is already a tuple. You can also do that just to make sure. Remember, type let's actually put it here too, so you can see it. Print type sensors, close them. You see, the first one is a list and the second one is a tuple. Okay, and the same back as we were saying before. Now in this case you have in here already a fixed tuple which is called fixed sensors. We see it, right? But now back someone come and say, but fixed sensors is going to be, no, sorry, modify sensor is I want it to be a list of fixed sensors. Okay, let's print in here this one. Let's put a print in between so we can see print fixed sensors. Okay, and in here we say modify sensor is gonna be the new list, and I want in this new list the fixed sensors, and I want to print modify list, print modify list. We print. What do we see here in the print now? What do we want? Oh, oops. Why did I put the sensor? Okay, so you see, we have camera, radar, and GPS with the first print. Why it is in parentheses? Because this one is a tuple. Remember, we got the list in here and we change it into tuple. And now this is back with the square brackets because in here we change it back into a list. So now we know the modify sensor is a list. Okay, so we can do, for example, modify sensor dot append, and I want microphone back. And now we print again. Modify sensor. And we have a tuple, then we have a list, and then we have a list with microphone added. And now we say, okay, I already modified the list, and I modify the list called modify sensors, and I want to say definitive sensor. I want it to be a tuple with a tuple of modify sensor. Modify sensor. And now I want to print definitive sensor, and I print it. Where is the problem? Here. Another problem. This one. Okay, we have it. So we have a tuple, parentheses, remember? Then square brackets, a list. Then in the list we using the append, we put microphone at the back, right? Remember, it's always go in the last position. We added microphone, the value of microphone, and then you see we have a tuple with microphone. In the very beginning it was a tuple with only camera, radar, and GPS, and now we have a tuple with camera, radar, GPS, and microphone. You see why it will make no sense at all if you just change a tuple. Tuple is supposed to be like fixed values. Let's put let's just check type in here so we can see it. You put type, in all of them. Oops. now we print. You see, it was a tuple, then a list, then a list, and then back a tuple. So you can actually modify a tuple. If you convert it into the list, you modify the list, and then your list converted back into tuple. Okay, we saw the tuples. The next thing to see are the sets. We will leave that to the next video.